Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to NCF Live here on this gorgeous Wednesday, August 14th, about 5 p.m. or so Pacific. About to start our first fall kickoff Wednesday night Bible study. So we're actually going to do something new here on Wednesday nights. Maybe you have been wanting to connect to other people here at NCF, but Wednesdays haven't worked out for you. We are going to do something new starting Sunday, August the 15th. So in about basically 4 weeks or so, 4 or 5 weeks, we're going to be starting what we're calling NCF Home Edition. NCF Home Edition. Basically, these are the things that we traditionally have called small groups. The idea, though, is that you would create a house church, not to replace our regular church, but a spiritual environment at your house where you can get to know other people. You can invite someone who is wanting to know more about who Jesus is, a person who is not a Christian. Most likely, you can invite your own family and friends. But you know how sometimes people, either they work or they maybe are just not into God, or they don't want to come on a Sunday morning to church. They're not into that tradition that most of us are. Well, imagine if instead you and your significant other, your family, you open your home, let's say once in a while, once a month, once a week, on a Friday night. It doesn't have to be every week or a big production. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You open your house and you invite 3 or 4 people from the church. That way you get to know them better. Or maybe if you feel like you're not quite connected to us, you can come and be a part of those groups. But then imagine if you then, you have that one perhaps brother-in-law or that sister who used to go to church, who used to be into the things of God, but something has happened, right? They've lost that connection, maybe life circumstances, a divorce, maybe a spiritual struggle. Perhaps they left the faith, but you still obviously love them. You pray for them. Imagine being able to then have them come over to your house just for some snacks, but then you have a very simple devotional. You don't have to be a preacher. You don't have to be someone who went to seminary. You don't have to be a perfect human being and have a perfect life. If God can use me, I tell people, heck, he can use anyone. And then you open the Bible. I will give you the resources. I actually have a book that I have right here that I'm going to show you that we're going to begin to use. That is just very simple. It's called Life Changers. It's kind of upside down there perhaps for you. It's a very simple Bible study, devotional kind of a workbook, discipleship type stuff that comes well recommended. I've gone through it and it's awesome. Now, if you don't want to use that material, you can use your own material. You can use the book of John. You can go through the book of Mark. You can maybe follow up on what I'm preaching. I'm going through the Psalms right now. But imagine if you then meet every week for, let's say, 8 weeks. That's the idea of NCF Mobile or NCF Home Edition, is to bring NCF to your home. The love that you feel for the church, the love that you have for people, the love that you want, or the love that you want other people to experience. Imagine being able to bring that to your home. If you want me to come and pray once in a while, of course I'm available. You can choose the time. You can choose when to meet. I have some guys, because, us guys, we like food. They're going to be meeting on Saturday mornings at Denny's. That's the one I'm going to. We're going to bring our Bibles and pray while we have some pancakes, or maybe if you're into healthy stuff, some oatmeal and some coffee and juice and water, and talk about God and get to know each other as guys. There's another group that they're going to meet at their home, I believe, on Friday nights. And they just want to open their homes. They have a nice backyard, a nice little patio, and they want to just open the Bible. They don't want to use any of these resources. They're going to just use their own Bibles and their own knowledge of God. And I'm telling you, this particular couple, they told me, Trig, I'm not a Bible expert. That's what other people do. That's for you to do. I said to him, imagine if you were able to share what you do know with people that love you, people that know you. They don't know me. They'll never come on a Sunday morning, but imagine if you, with what you do know, and most of all with your story of God's change in your life, if you opened your home to 2 or 3 of us here and then maybe one or two of your relatives. There's another, let's see, I have a list here of people. Another young lady who has a passion for basically young moms who don't always have the support at home that they need. And so this one young lady, she has a heart for people that basically were just like her. She's now a little older, but she told me, Trig, I want to help other young moms like I used to be 5-10 years ago that are just going crazy with kids and with maybe the husband's always working and they don't have a place where they can rest. I want to provide a place. And so she's going to have, I believe also on Friday nights, a study at her house. I have another, let's see here. I have another gentleman who wants to do a more traditional Bible study and just simply go through the book of John. He's actually going to go verse by verse through the book of John. And then after that, he was telling me he might go through the book of Revelation, because Revelation, is it's kind of obviously about the end times, and it's something that a lot of people are interested in these days. Let's see, we have another group that is for young people. We have a couple of leaders here who their heart is to help young people just not feel so alone, to not feel like they have to do all these things and maybe have somewhere where they can talk about the pressures of daily life. We're talking about people in their 20s and maybe even early 30s, young people, young men and women who just don't have a place to call home. And this particular couple, they want to do something on Saturdays or maybe even Sundays at their home and feed the kids and play some games, maybe even have some fun, some music, and then to have a Bible study where they can actually discuss the things that young people deal with. So as you can see, we have all kinds of groups, and these leaders are ready. They are going through a training as we speak in this particular month. Over the next few weeks, I'm doing that training along with a couple of our staff here, just to equip, pray, just to simply help people to feel ready. And then for the next 6 to 8 weeks, starting September 15th, we're going to then launch these NCF Home Edition, basically small groups. And you're going to hear more about that. And some of them, as I said, are during the week. Others are on the weekends. We have one that's actually for ladies who love Zumba. And so if you love exercise and yet you want to combine prayer and Bible study with exercise, we're going to have 2 or 3 ladies who are going to do a Zumba class, but it also includes a Bible study. So I'm so excited about that one. I wish I could come to that one. So as you can see, we have all kinds of stuff for all the ages. And now let me say one last thing. If you are someone who wants to do a prayer group, we have currently 2 prayer groups on Sunday mornings at 10. And there are about 4 or 5 people in each group that meet every Sunday. And they pray for me, which I'm so thankful for. They pray for our church. They pray for you, your families, your children. If you're a young person, they pray for you and work and stress and dating and relationships. They are praying for our church. And so if you would like to join maybe this prayer group, I would love to invite you to pray on Sundays at 10 a.m., just right before the service. So with all that, I just want to encourage you to take some time this week to pray, to ask the Lord, God, where do you want me to be here this fall? We all have so many things to do, so much work. Who has time for one more thing, right? But I'm telling you, like Martin Luther King said, if I know I have a big day tomorrow, I spend twice as long praying the night before. Doesn't it make sense that we spend more time with Jesus so that we can meet the needs that are in front of all of us? As kids go back to school and work, and my wife, she's got a lot on her plate, but she wants to be with other women that will encourage her and would lift her up. We all need that, right? We all need encouragement, support, prayer for healing for our bodies. One thing that I've really been very, more aware of is the satanic forces that are always working in every home. I've heard so many stories just in the last few months of women, men, couples, young people who are experiencing spiritual attacks. Bible says that it is not by power, not by might. It is by the Spirit that we will defeat these dark forces. The Bible also says that the weapons of our warfare, meaning the weapons that we need to have, are not of this world. In other words, it's not knowledge or just simply ignoring things or working hard that's going to defeat the enemy. It says the weapons of our warfare are not of this world. They are mighty through Christ. So you might be dealing with some sort of demonic or evil kind of, I don't know, problems, and you're not sure what to do. Well, come to one of these studies, because that's the group that I want to talk about. I've been praying, Lord, what group do you want me to lead? I want to lead one on spiritual attacks, on how to overcome satanic forces. And you might not be aware of these things. You might think it's just stress, or it's just a bad day, or just depression, or you're maybe just having bad luck or karma. People say all kinds of stuff. But I am aware, because I've been through it myself, that Satan is out to destroy his people. And so if you are interested in learning how to stand against the powers of darkness, then I want you to come to my study. And I believe I've been thinking about doing it on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m., right before church, but I know that's hard for a lot of people, so I may do it Sunday nights at 7 p.m. here at the church. So I just want to encourage you to sign up, and leave me a comment below at the bottom of this video and just say, hey, I want to sign up. Just say yes, that you do want to sign up. We'll begin to collect all the names and contact you. All of our leaders also, they already have a list of names that we were praying through that we'd like to see connect. And so they may be contacting you over the next few weeks. So don't get too freaked out if you get a phone call from one of our leaders just inviting you to join their group. Of course, it's up to you. It's all free. We do ask for a $5 donation if you can, just to cover some of our costs of printing and things to help our church as well. But most of all, we just want you to connect. And then after the 6-8 weeks of this fall, we're going to take a break in December for the holiday season, and then back in January to continue with another probably maybe 8 to 10 weeks in the spring as we head into 2020 and into the rest of this year and next year. Imagine that. Crazy, huh? We're almost to the end of 2019. Where has life gone? And I think even just maybe one last thing, as we head into the presidential election in 2020, it's still, let's say, a good year away. But wouldn't it be good for us to be praying? Wouldn't it be good for us to spend less time watching the news or on CNN or Fox, whatever you watch, and actually praying with other people of God, standing against darkness, praying for God to once again come back to his church, to come back to our homes and neighborhoods? Imagine you being a part of a solution for this nation's problems, and heck, this world's problems. I am convinced that you and I, as a Church of Jesus Christ, we are the answer to all these problems. You can be the answer to somebody else's prayer. You can be the person who brings someone closer to Jesus. You can be the person just simply by bringing them a cup of water, by inviting them to church, by simply just praying for them that God can use. Now, I want to give you a tool that I've been learning from Greg Laurie in the Harvest Crusade as far as inviting people to maybe these house groups. And it's a 3-step process. Very simple. I love what he says and how he says it. I want to give it to you as something to do this week. Number 1 is to pray for that person. If you have somebody who needs Jesus, who you know is in need of help and love, pray for them. Pray for them by name. Okay, so let's say for me, it would be someone called Hector. I'm going to pray for Hector every day, every morning when I do my prayers, when I'm at church, at a meal, whenever. I'm going to pray for Hector. Number 2 is to then invite them to church. But I would say maybe even the next step, it would be to just invite them to these house groups, house churches. So you may do yours, let's say you're the breakfast at 8 a.m. at Denny's kind of guy, and you're going to pray for Hector, but now you're going to invite Hector to Saturday, August 20-something at Denny's at 8 a.m., and you're going to treat them even as your guest. And then third is to actually go and pick them up. And I love this one the most because this is the one that's scariest for most of us, right? You're going to not just invite them, but you're going to actually go to their house and maybe wait outside their door and say, hey, Hector, I'm here outside your house. You may have to drive 5, 10, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes even, but it's worth it. and you're going to bring that person with you as your guest. And you're going to have them come in your car and drive to the Denny's together. And then you're going to sit with them. You're going to pay for their breakfast, and you're going to make them feel at home and be a good hostess. As we used to call it, being someone who's hospitable, who practices good hospitality, some of these gifts that I know many of you have. So again, 3 things. I want you to begin to implement these things starting today. Pray, invite, and go and pick up that person. Or maybe you're not going to go and pick them up physically, but you're going to wait for them outside of church or outside of Denny's at, let's say, 8 a.m. And you're going to say, hey, I'm going to wait for you outside of Denny's. Meet me there at 8 a.m. I'm going to wait for you so we can walk in together. So these are the ways that we're going to share the gospel, and we're going to spread the good news of Jesus to people who need it. You might be that person. My prayer for you today is that you would be that person who is willing to take the risk of faith, but really it's no risk because we need it, don't we? And that you would answer the call to be a part of these NCF home edition churches, house churches, small groups, Bible studies, whatever language you want to use, it's all the same thing. And then to begin to pray, invite, and bring with you a person that you know needs Jesus. So leave your comment below. Just say, yes, sign me up. Let me know if you're interested, if you have any questions. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.